Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al, it's Monday, and I've got an NBA first look for today, February 25th. We're going to take a look at this slate. We got 11 games on tap for tonight. Two, not one, but two 500K tournaments on Draftkings with 100K up top to first place. There's a lot to break down. There's a few injuries. We got a whole bunch of stars on this slate, and just like every slate after the All-Star break, and once we get into March, and once we get into April, you're going to see it even more so. The stars and scrubs approach that I like to take in NBA because of how predictable those superstars are and how easy it is to flex on the fantasy point per minute when you've got guys that are priced at 10 or 12 minutes who will play 20 to 25 minutes with increased usage, very possibly. NBA plays very well as a stars and scrubs game. So we've seen that the last few days. We nailed a couple of the value plays last week. We saw them really go off, and it just came down to which studs you picked to go along with them. On tonight's slate, we do have some very good superstar players priced at 10K or above, 5 of them to be exact. We also already have some good value, but if one of these stars sits out, we could be looking at a value tsunami on tonight's slate, just like we kind of tend to do as the season winds down and players start resting. We aren't quite there yet. But we have a situation where James Harden rested in that last game and created a whole bunch of value on the slate with, on Saturday, with a bunch of the Rockets going off, with a bunch of the Rockets being underpriced because of their fantasy points per minute and minutes played. And now we might have Harden out again, which is going to create possibility of 4, maybe 5 Rockets in GPP lineups, 3 definitely in cash for sure, possibly 4 there as well. If you like these NBA First Look videos, please drop a like on this video right here. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on any of my other socials, the link is down below. Just click show more on the description. Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff is down in there. And we'll catch up to you there as well. But let's take a look at tonight's slate really quickly. As I said, 11 games, Portland and Cleveland, Golden State, Charlotte, Indy, Detroit, San Antonio, Brooklyn, Phoenix, Miami, Milwaukee, Chicago, Sacramento, Minnesota, Los Angeles against Memphis, Atlanta against Houston is going to be the big game that most people are going to center their ownership around. But with 11 games, makes a lot of sense for you to vary your lineups. It's not like a 6-game slate where all the value is on one team. 11 games, we can find a lot of value out there. We're going to talk about the main ones, Philly and New Orleans. Dallas and the Clippers is the hammer, starting 2.5 hours after the other games and giving you a little bit of late swap possibilities there. If you're jammed up, or if your cash game lineups, your head-to-heads, if somebody looks like they have the same exact guy as you and you have somebody left in that Dallas Clippers game just like they do, you can swap to another player. It's going to be a lot of Luka out there this evening. It's going to be a couple of the Clippers owned at somewhat high ownership in tournaments. If you're, I believe Drew Dinkmeyer came up with the term dormied. If somebody has you blocked at the same position, you can switch to a player that costs the same or less to give yourself at least a chance at passing that team. Is better than having 0 chance to win those games at all. So looking at the studs, obviously the highest priced player on the slate is James Harden, and James Harden, who sat Saturday, creating a whole bunch of value on Houston. We know who he is. We know what he does. One of the highest usage players in the league, one of the highest shot takers in the league, one of the highest assist rate players in the league. If he's out, and there's a good possibility that he is going to be out, prepare your if-then statements, if you will. If James Harden is in, then these players are worth XYZ. If James Harden is out, then these players are worth ABC. So with James Harden out, it's real easy to just say, you know what? Chris Paul takes over the point guard spot in the D'Antoni offense, which always has led to great fantasy goodness at 8,300, massively underpriced for the situation against Atlanta when James Harden is out. Same here, Clint Capella going to see increased usage. There is other value options at center today. You don't have to go with Clint Capella. You also have, let's see, who do we have at center today? You also have, on top of center, you've got Jonas Valanciunas, you have Powell, you have Olynyk if you want to go really cheap. You have a lot of different options you can go with. Kenneth Faried, also on Houston, fits in at that center spot and is a little bit cheaper at 5,500. Becomes somebody that I think that we kind of have to plug into lineups at the price, considering that at 5,500, he has 35-point upside with a very good possibility of a double-double with the pace that they play at and with Atlanta's front court. It could be as easy with James Harden out as just going plink. What do you go? Or just all. It's easier. Plink, 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 You could even plug Eric Gordon. It's an easy game, right? You don't have to overthink it. These 4 players are going to come in at massive ownership levels today. If you don't think that Gordon's going to take a lot of shots, because he is basically just a scoring guard, right? He has to score the basketball in order for him to have really great fantasy output. He's not going to have these 6 assist games very often, though his usage should go up and his assist percentage should go up if Harden is out. We saw 4 from him in the game against Golden State. 37 points comes on 25 points from the field. 26 points comes on 18 points from the field. He has to get buckets. He has to make shots in order for him to be fantasy relevant for you. But at 46%, at 4,600 with James Harden very possibly out, again, the if-then statement, if James Harden is out, then Eric Gordon looks to take 17 to 22 shots tonight at 4,600. Easy value there. Same thing with Fareed. If you want to reach further on this team, guys like Austin Rivers or Gerald Green could also see more shots. But again, these players need to score in order to be effective. So very easy value there just to start, right? Now we're going to take a couple of these out of here. I'm still going to stick with Eric Gordon. I'm still going to stick with Fareed as one of my value plays. I'm still going to stick with Chris Paul as the main stud play that I want to play, but I want to look at a couple of other players on this slate. LeBron James, Zero Dark 30 mode, surrounded by a bunch of guys that, you know, they said they were going to trade. Maybe they're not really all locked in. Maybe they don't feel like they're a part of this team. Maybe they don't know how important it is. Maybe LeBron is questioning, not even maybe, questioning whether or not basketball is the highest priority that they have in their lives right now. All of that by the wayside. 39 minutes, 40 minutes, 43 minutes. LeBron is locked in to the point where he is saying, play me as many minutes as you need to play me, because if I'm on the floor, we can win games, and we need to win games to get back into the top 8, because he does not want to be a lottery team, which is leading to these tremendous lines. Double doubles almost assured, triple doubles 100% in play, 64 fantasy points, 56 fantasy points, 78 fantasy points in his last 3 games. And considering that James Harden is out, he becomes the top superstar play on the evening. Giannis Antetokounmpo, doubtful for this game against Chicago. Again, creating more value on Milwaukee. We can take a look at Milwaukee's roster to kind of see what they've got salary-wise. If he is out, then these other players take a big step forward. Brogdon going to see more usage. Middleton going to see more shots. Mirotic definitely going to see more shots. Brook Lopez, all he does contribute is points, right? He's not a guy who's going to get you a ton of rebounds or a ton of assists. He kind of sits out of the three-point line. He'll get you a few easy rebounds, but again, if these minutes stay up here in the 35 range at 4,600, not an atypical value play. I like him, especially with a scoring floor if Giannis is out. Ilyasova as well should see increased minutes, but Middleton, Brogdon, and Bledsoe, the 3 top ones there for me on that roster. Joel Embiid out, dealing with left knee soreness, reevaluated. We can go to Philly. Again, this is a slate where there's a ton of value. So if you think that in GPPs there's going to be a value play that's 40% owned or so on, then we have to kind of take a look for other value plays. And you can do that on a slate like this with 11 games. Tobias Harris put up 34 fantasy points. He's priced right about where he should be with Embiid out. Ben Simmons going to see the same usage that he sees. He needs to be efficient from the floor in order to be effective, because you know he's not going to help you out with threes. He has to get you that double-double by having other players around him hit shots. Boban was the mispriced play the other night with Embiid out, and we've talked about this on that night, on that slate, that Boban is one of the top fantasy point per minute producers of all time, and all he needs is minutes, and minutes equals money. If he plays 25 plus minutes, if you project that that's what he's going to do, he should still at least approach, if not reach, the value threshold at 5,500. He's nowhere near as good a play as he was back here at 3,500 in that game against Miami. So he's a very delicate value option, more of a GPP play than a cash play to me. The one value play that really stands out to me on this slate is right here. Derrick Jones Jr. playing a good amount of minutes, coming off of a 27-minute game, 3,400, small forward and power forward eligible here, and allows you to fit the other studs that you want in this lineup, projecting over 25 minutes for him this evening. is where I'm going to go with him. And as I said, center is a spot where you can find a ton of value. We nailed last week, and I don't like talking about picks that I got right because I'm more about the process than the picks. But we nailed the Joakim Noah pick the other night, and that was with Jonas Valanciunas not playing. With Jonas back, he's going to carry the wheel, y'all. 11 of 19 from the field in an offense that is very front court oriented, the way that they run offense in Memphis, and the Lakers don't have the ability to really stop anybody on the inside. High rebound possibility, high double possibility. I'm not expecting 25 points out of Valanciunas this evening, but at 6,400, he sure does allow me a whole lot of flexibility with $7,266 average remaining for a guard, a forward, and utility. I've got a ton of flexibility. It allows me to select between any one of these studs that I want. If you want to get Luka in there, if he's playing tonight, go ahead. If you want Russell in there at 8,400, if you want to go down narrative street, the narrative street play of the day is Steph Curry going back to Charlotte. He averages over 28 points per game against Charlotte in his career. He averages 23 points a game in real life against every other team. The narrative street is real with Steph Curry when he goes back to Charlotte. He did not play against them last season, but again, 5 more points per game for Steph Curry when he plays against the Charlotte Hornets than against any other team. That's where he grew up. That's where his friends and family live. That's where all that stuff comes together. If you want to ride the narrative street train with Steph Curry at 9,300, I'm not going to tell you not to. Or if you want to be able to stuff LeBron James into those lineups because you know that the King is going to do King things on a Monday night to try and get his team into the playoffs with this roster that's around him, you've got the flexibility to do it tonight because of all the value that's out there and all those options that we have. Thank you guys for joining me. Again, if you're new to the channel, thank you. I would love to see you again. Make sure you click subscribe on this video or like on this video and subscribe to the channel. Ring that notifications bell so that you will get a little note, nice little email, the next time that I post another NBA First Look or any other videos that we produce here on this channel. Thank you for being a part of it. Click the description down below. Come find me on Twitch. Most of these broadcasts are taped live in front of a studio audience. And I'd love to meet you, so come say hello anytime that I'm live over on Twitch. I'll catch you guys later. See you tomorrow. Bye.